Right, it's
Thursday.
the 12th, no, the 17th. No, totally lost track of days. Okay, so last night when we got to Portsmouth, we went through all the paperwork, went through passport control, security, which was a bit of a chore, to say the least, but the one thing that came out of that which concerned us the most was that we were told that there's a possibility the French will turn us back when we get on the other side. We had a very sleepless night trying to work out what we'd do. If we had to come back, we'd have to return ferry, we'd have to find somewhere to stay, somewhere to live. Sort out what was going to happen to our furniture that's already in France.
They were there by then. The lorry, they rang us and said they'd turned up.
Yeah, we got a phone call saying they'd already arrived. So
I think they got there at 6 o'clock in the evening. We should have been there, the same day, and we had organised for everybody to be there. So we had the plumber lined up, the previous owner, the agent that sold the house. Everyone was going to be there and hand the keys over and everything.
But as it turned out, we got off the ferry,
dreading it,
knots in our stomachs, feeling absolutely sick. Got to passport control. We handed over our passports, the cat's passports, the COVID test reports, the attestation to say that we were COVID free and that we were travelling to our permanent place of residence.
Oh, the other thing we did in the night was we wrote out a letter.
Yeah, so overnight we wrote out a letter which said,
with the help of
Luke's friend,
colleague from work, is French, so we managed to track this lovely lady down, and she actually
she transcribed for us
a letter in French laying out what was happening and why, and
so it explained that we had given up our house in the UK, we'd sold it, we had nowhere to live in the UK, we're moving to our permanent place of residence in France. The furniture and all our stuff was already here. We handed that letter over to him, and he sat there and he read it.
Because he was asking for our residency papers. And we thought, this is it, they're going to send us back. But that letter seemed to do the
trick. Yeah, he read through that, he looked at us, and he said, well, away you go.
And nothing was checked after all our work for listing everything in every box, numbering all the boxes. We had the guy that the chap from DEFRA came.
Nobody ever looked at it.
Nobody looked at anything. They didn't look in the car. They didn't look in the trailer. We did everything we possibly could, that it was all absolutely legal. Every box was ticked, and they didn't look at a thing. I felt cheated. We put so much work into it. It was like weeks of work to get to that point, and really, really costly. And no, they just let us sail through. But my God, the relief! It took all morning just to unwind from that.
That was
horrendous. We both felt absolutely sick.
We were several hundred kilometres down the road before that really sort of sunk in. But that was really, really, really tough.
Stressful.
But we got to the house.
To find the lorry has come off of the cobblestone area. The drive was absolutely fine and hard. I mean, on the north coast of France, they've got as much snow as we had up in Norfolk, so you can see it's still on the banks and in the gullies of the fields. It's still thick snow, but as we came down, it got warmer and warmer and warmer, and actually it's quite pleasant down here. So we're halfway down. But the lorry, it's a double sort of size lorry. they'd driven down the drive, which was fine, onto the courtyard area where there's cobblestones, but they'd let the one side of the lorry come off of the cobblestones onto the what would be the lawn, and it's
sunk
up to its axle on one side, so it's got a real list to it, and they don't know how they're going to get it out. So they'd started unpacking.
Yep.
They'd rung and said, shall we start? We're just sat here doing nothing, waiting for you. So you said, just open one of the barns. Someone turned up, actually.
Yes, the mother-in-law of the owner turned up, apparently.
Yeah.
With keys to unlock the chain to the gate.
Across the drive, so... and gave them the whole set of keys for the house. So they actually did go in the house and opened all the windows because, oh my goodness, the house is so damp inside because it's been locked up for 6 months, and the conditions there are really wet. The ponds are overflowing. We've got running water across the grounds that there was no sign of in the summer. It's like a lake out there, and really boggy, soft ground. So they've had a lot of rain. We've got to work out a way of draining it all. The guys just got on with unloading, but they haven't unloaded all of it by any means. About half, if that. That. So.
So they were going to carry on.
Yeah, they're putting it in one of the barns and a few bits in the house.
Yeah.
So there's been a leak in the house. The plumbers obviously tried to get the water system going, and it's leaked all over the place. So we got wet floors.
Well, there's heating system that, like he's had a leak from the heating system. The water system itself for the tap water, we don't know about that yet.
He's coming today.
He's coming today to show us how to turn that on.
Because it's well water, so we were using
Buckets.
Water from one of the big animal troughs outside to flush from the toilets. It's very wet inside.
Really,
running
really
up down the walls everywhere. It's terrible. All the wallpaper's peeling off. It needs to be dried out inside. It's much worse than when we saw it. And also the other thing was all the furniture's disappeared. So everything that had been left there supposedly was going to stay. I mean, there was 30 odd chairs. There were big
tables,
dressers and things.
Wardrobes, all
mirrors.
sorts of things. Yeah,
it's all gone. And from the outbuildings, everything's gone. So someone's been there and cleared out everything, which that by rights should have all stayed there. Whatever we saw should have stayed there, and we did question that at the time, and we're told it's to stay there. But that's all gone. That's the cat's asleep on the bed. She's luxuriating and having space rather than being in a cage for a day and a half. So there's the damp, there's the missing stuff. The lorry's stuck. We don't know how they're going to get that out. There's a tractor. What they've done is they've rearranged everything. So from when we saw it and the way it was all, the low loader and the cherry picker disappeared on a low loader. They've put them back on the lorry, but they've put one in each portion. So each part of the lorry has one big piece of machinery in, and then boards put in and everything stacked above it, around it, in front of it. So how they're going to get it off, I don't know, because they couldn't get it on up the ramps that they had, and we asked them if they brought better ramps. No, they brought the same ramps. So how are we supposed to get it off?
The only thing you can say is that the trailer is lower to the ground at the moment.
It's by about a foot on one side.
On one side. So.
The other thing was, we asked them if they put the catering kitchen in the room that's going to be the kitchen, and the cooker doesn't fit through the door.
No.
It's got 3 doors into that room, and none of them are wide enough. And the building's stone, so that means we got to take out the door surround and chisel into the stone. There's one way. Or we have
take it through the window.
The window's a double window. It'll go through that if we can get it on something and lift it through.
I haven't looked at it yet, so it may be that it's fractional and I may be able to take something off to get it through, but we'll see.
It might have to be taken apart a bit or put through the window. Yes.
We shall see.
So lots of problem solving today and talking to people, and get it aired, get the windows open, try and get the log burner in. There's a lot of wood around the place, dry wood in the barns.
Yeah, there's even a log pile, there's a log store, which has still got logs in it, so that's fabulous. That's good.
I had a little look round the grounds while you were out doing stuff, and there's signs of all sorts of animals there. You can see trails through the grass where things are going. It looks like deer prints in these little trails going across the grounds, and there's definitely something in the water. We saw 3, whatever they were the size of otters, in one of the ponds last time when we were here, and they're still there. There was I saw the back of one in one of the ponds, and there's so much more water now, and I think they can now get from one area to another through these sort of wet, flooded areas. And there's actually an area there that looks like an area where they, I don't know, nest or whatever, but it's quite a flattened area that they obviously congregate in. Perhaps I don't know if they sleep there or what they do there, but
we'll have to put the trail cam up and find out.
Put the trail cam up, find out what's out there. That'll be very interesting. But at the moment this isn't home. We've had to go to a gîte because it's so damp there.
You can't stay there at the moment.
No, and we didn't even know where our bed was. They had only just started unpacking the lorry, so there's no way we could have stayed there. Too wet. A lot of damp. The walls are absolutely pouring with it, and there's some leaks on the floors as well. And they had covered up quite a lot of damage with all these mattresses and bits of furniture that were laid around the house. I'm wondering whether it was strategic, and it was hiding like where the floor had sunk and where there's cracks in the walls, and
maybe.
Yeah, but there's a lot more damage there than we were aware of. But we didn't get back for a second viewing because we just couldn't travel. So it was a decision made at the time.
Is what it is.
Yeah, we just have to get on and sort it out. It's just problem solving at the end of the day. So we're in a nice warm little gîte, but about an hour we got to get going, and we said we'd be there at 9. It's 8:15 now.
Yeah, we better go and have some breakfast and get going.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Speak to you again
Speak
tomorrow.
To you later.